Life is so simple and it's boring. Boredom or boringness is so simple. When there's a thought that something has to be done, that's the time to analyze this thought and what is thinking it. What is thinking something has to be done? And who or what is witnessing that one that is thinking that something has to be done? Life cannot be experienced when this mind is in overdrive, when this mind is looking for complex living, for so much attention, so much to do, so much to think about, so much to create. The moment this mind that is speaking was awakened, it laughed, inwardly, outwardly, for days, for weeks, at how foolish this word boredom was, and how this mind had been manipulating itself into believing that it can create something much more or equal to that what is absolutely immaculate. It's not the boredom that's immaculate. It's the simplicity of it. It's the simplicity of the world. It's the simplicity of being. It's the simplicity of thinking. It's the simplicity of accepting and trusting and having faith that whatever I am is living. Doing is a subcontracted method. Overthinking, another subcontracted method. And the subcontracted methods take on more subcontracted ways, practices of doing it. The matrix of subcontraction. The matrix of mind that wants to get out of simplistic living. And then it believes, and it pretends, and it's convinced that it's looking for simplistic living. And it gets confused and lost. And when in its despair, it thinks there's another way, another method. Because boredom cannot be the answer. How primitive, how Neanderthal. To just eat the food without thinking about where it came from, what the colors are, what the nutritional values are. The body says, give me friggin' food. And I will give you a home to dwell in. And you can be bored alongside me. The body and boredom. The body does not love to be bored. The mind does not love to be bored. Everything is taking place. Do you think boredom is inclusive of not participating in the world? Do you know when you're really bored? Do you know what the simplistic, most pure boredom is? When you're digging the garden and you don't know you're digging the garden. You don't know what time it is. You don't know what you're going to be doing next. You don't know what you did yesterday. The sun is beating down and you don't even know it's beating down. Because the mind is in the digging. It's in the hole. It's in the shovel. It's in the heart. It's in every muscle. The mind, when it comes back in, says, how boring is this digging the garden? And everything else is saying, wow, we're having so much peace and tranquil living. And at the end of it, oh, come in, mind, answer the question. Mind says, yes, the garden will be beautiful. And it's all down to me. Because I took a vacation and let the body and that experience take its own way, its own method. Boredom is when you're painting the painting and you can't even recognize the colors, the brush, the action, the image, the descriptive element of what you set out to paint, whether it's an eye, a face, a tree. It's just moving. And mind is standing somewhere around you going, wow, I don't want to intrude this one. This is going to be such a beautiful painting. And it's simple when I'm not participating, says mind. It's so simple when I am not participating, says mind. Life is simply boring, boringly simple. And you're racing in the Formula One Grand Prix. Boredom is not about not doing. Boredom is a way, is natural, it is simple. The mind comes in an overactive drive to say, what am I doing? Why are you doing it? Where is this going to lead? What are you hoping to do next? What are you hoping to achieve? How is this in comparison to what you did it, the way you did it yesterday? Mind says, think, 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 think. And the body is still churning through the garden. Life is meant to take its own course. You can be running a marathon every day of every week and every month and every year of your life and still be bored. Still be simply running. Or you can be meditating in the monastery with your eyes closed every day, every moment, every day, every week, every month, every year. And you're bored, simply not present. Boredom is when the mind is not present, but everything is as it is. Everything is okay. Everything is simply evolving, simply transcending, simply moving, simply emotionally recognizing itself that I am alive. And everything that surrounds me is living alongside as what I am. In unison, simultaneously. Not fighting, not competing, not preferring, not judging, not analyzing. Everything is one. And non-duality is always here. When the mind says, that's boring. What have you done with your life? Why are you wasting your time? And body's painting the house. It's painting the house in simplistic boredom. And the mind is saying, what are you doing? Why are you not selling the 7 C's? Why are you not planning for your retirement? Why are you not planning for your funeral? Why are you not with your family? You have much more better things to do. This is boring. And the funeral takes place in that newly painted house when your body passes away and all your family is around, admiring the great paintwork, saying, wow, Dad, he was never bored. He was always doing something. He was always active. Never interfered. Never tried to improve whatever I am. Never tried to create something out of something that was not true to this natural, simplistic living life that we are. Mind will measure boredom. It will measure how long you've been doing nothing. It will measure the date that you were born to the date you die. The mind will measure your height, your color, your fatigue, your illness. It will measure the way you drive to work. It will measure the time that the traffic lights are taking to change from red to green. It will measure your own failings and success. And it will make comparisons and it will say, keep going, keep driving on, don't be bored. Forget this world, forget nature, forget everything. That's just taking itself. That's just whatever it is. It's not important. Just eat the animals, grow the vegetables, eat them. As long as you're living, as long as you're not bored, as long as you're not meditating, as long as you're not wasting time, as long as you're listening to me. That's mind. That's that cunning mind that's saying, how often do you listen to me? Because when you do, you're a fool. But I love the attention. I love stopping you from being your natural state. But I'm not loving it. I'm just testing you. Life is beautiful. Life is simple. Life is not what the mind makes it out to be on the television screen. It's not what it makes it out to be in the newspapers. It's not what the politicians make it out to be, or science makes it out to be, or religion makes it out to be. It's not what atheism makes it out to be. There can be nothing making it out to be because it already is. There's nothing here to change and prove. There is here to be experienced. Paint the house, paint the picture, dig the garden. But there's not a digger, a painter. There's just life, moving through life, living itself, experiencing itself as whatever it thinks it is doing is not important. It just loves doing without thinking. Doing without thinking is simple, perfect living. Doing with thinking is boredom, appearing and disappearing. Namaste.